Spicy Decks of the Week, where we talk about all the cool, crazy decks that either had success in tournament, or on ladder by reaching king in games, or by going on some kind of a spicy win streak. This week we're going to be starting off with an Infinitrack Deskbot deck. So both these engines were keeping kind of small here, only 4 Infinitrack monsters and only 6 Deskbot monsters, not going out in the full packages for either, but the main sort of, I guess, player we're doing with this deck is the Anchor Drill, plus our several level 2 monsters in the deck, right? So Anchor Drill, whenever you normal summon this thing, is going to special summon an Earth monster from our hands. That might either be the Harvester, which is going to, when you special summon it, allow you to add another Infinitrack from your deck, meaning the Anchor Drill, or you can special summon the Deskbot 2. Whenever you special summon Deskbot 2, you're going to be able to add another Deskbot card from your deck to hand, so you can either add the Deskbot 3 or the Field Spell from your deck to hand. If you happen to open up with both 2 or Deskbot 2 and 3 in hand, you can still do the play where you normal summon 3, special summon 2 from hand, and then search your deck for the Field Spell. That's of course going to give you attack boost for all your Deskbot monsters, and then of course they both give each other attack boost, so they're going to get up to a pretty decent attack point value there, be able to deal some damage to your opponent. You also have some decent consistency with this deck, given the fact that you have Heavy Forward in here to be able to search for your Infinitrack monsters. So between Heavy Forward, Harvester, and Deskbot 2, searching out all the various cards from your deck, you get a pretty good amount of consistency here. And of course, Anchor Drill is going to let you adjust your monster's levels to go into an XYZ monster. So they'll combine, the 2 levels will combine with yours, so you can go into level 6s pretty easily with this deck. And there's a lot of good rank 6s in the game right now, right? In the XYZ engine that we have access to in the toolbox. We have Potomali M7, we have things like Strike Bouncer, and of course Exhibitor, which can go into the Digital Bug Rhinoceros. So you have a lot of good rank 6s in the game right now. And another thing that I want to point out here is the main deck, Stygian Dirge. This card is absolutely devastating in the metagame right now. There are a lot of decks that are affected by Stygian Dirge. Basically anything that isn't fusion summoning that's trying to go for either synchro monsters or XYZ plays are really hurt by this card quite a bit. And it's not limited in any kind of way, so you can run 2 or 3 copies. And you see a lot of people side decking this card, but more and more I'm seeing people throwing this in the main deck, in ladder, in tournaments, in clan wars. I see this card being used a lot in the main deck, so just something to be on the lookout for if you're playing a lot on ladder right now, to be on the note that Stygian Dirge is on the rise right now. Maybe something you want to check out yourself. So getting into the deck list real quickly, we have Destiny Draw as our skill, 3 Anchor Drill, 1 Infinitrack Harvester, 3 Deskbot 3, 3 Deskbot 2, 2 MST, 2 Book of Moon, 2 Heavy Forward, 1 Deskbot Base, 1 Treacherous Trap Hole, 2 Stygian Dirge, 1 Potomali M7, 1 Geargigan X, Photon Strike Bouncer, Malevolent Sin, Digital Bug Rhinoceros, Exhibitor, and Swordbreaker. Next up, we have a Rabbit Fish deck. So a little different than the Dino Rabbit deck we had last week. Fish Rabbit. What really makes this deck cool is the skill, Twins Together. So it's going to do a few different things for us. So Twins Together says you can return 2 level 3 to 5 water fish type monsters from your field to the deck to play an Aurora Wing and a Blizzard Falcon from outside your deck to the board. And also then you can XYZ summon into a level 5 XYZ water monster if you want with them, instead of just a level 4. So what's really cool about this though is 2 things. One, it lets us shuffle our monsters back from the field to the deck. So we only have to run 1 normal monster in here with 3 copies of 7 colored fish. And we can still max out on Rescue Rabbit, right? Usually you see players running 1 or 2 Rabbit with 3 normal monsters, or you'll see them running like 4 or 5 or 6 normal monsters in their deck to go with the Rabbit, and then you have to run like more cards in your deck so you don't draw too many normal monsters. But with our skill, we only have to run the 3 normal monsters, and then we can shuffle them back into our deck. So that gives us more room to run other effect monsters and spells and trap cards, and I really, really like that, because that's one of the big problems I have with Rescue Rabbit in Duel Links, is that you kind of have that problem with how many normal monsters you run versus Rescue Rabbits to run. So, but our skill lets us run as few normal monsters as possible and still let it work out. It's also going to, as I mentioned, let us go into a level 5 monster here. And so we're running 2 different things to go with that combo. So one, we have a number 94 Crystal Zero, which requires any 2 level 5 water monsters, so we can go into it with our skill. And it has 2200 attack points, and during either player's turn, you can detach material from this card, target a face-up monster on the board, and have its attack until the end of the turn. So it's got built-in protection. With 4400 attack points, you're going to be able to swing over just about, it's 2200, so anything that doesn't have 4400 or more, you're going to be able to swing over it with this card, right? But also, you can then XYZ summon into a rank 6 monster called Full Armored Crystal Zero Lancer. You can XYZ summon it using a rank 5 water monster, so you're number 94. And then it gains 500 attack points for each material attack to it, so it can go up to like 3,700 attack points, and then you can detach a card to negate all the effects of all monsters on the board, so really cool extra little trick you can go into with this thing. Also, the 2 monsters you summon on the board are Winged Beast monsters, so you have access to Ice Beast Zero Fine with this deck, which is really neat that you have access to the new card, and you'll get the new summoning animation off it as well. So our skill is Twins Together. We have 3 Rescue Rabbit in here, 3 Silent Angler, 3 Double Fin Shark, so combined with the Rabbit, we have 6 1-card XYZ plays in this deck, which is really cool. 3 7-card Fish, 1 Monster Reborn, 2 MST, 2 Book of Moon, 2 Floodgate Trap Hole, and 1 Fish Def Charge. And then the extra deck, we have the full armored Crystal Zero Lancer, the number 94 Crystal Zero, Ice Beast Zero Fane, Bahamut Shark, Abyss Dweller, number 37 Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark, and the number 47 Nightmare Shark. And I don't think the skill restricts us from using non-water monsters either in our extra deck, or our main deck for that matter, so you can run like Malevolent Sin in here and stuff like that too. Those are definitely options for your deck as well. Next up, we have a Metaphys deck. Now, Metaphys has actually gotten a couple of different support cards here in the last few months here. Most recently, of course, the Dimensional Fissure came out. It's not a direct support card for the deck, but it's a really powerful card that obviously messes with a lot of strategies. Any monster sent to the graveyard will be banished instead. Lots of decks require the graveyard to operate, so it's a great counter card to shut down a lot of things. But Metaphys monsters, of course, gain effects whenever they're banished, so it's going to help your own cards as well by giving your own monsters effects to trigger off also. So, but this deck also got some support in the last few months recently when the Maximum Gustav box came out. They got a Pendulum monster called Metaphys Decoy Dragon. So what you do is you put this thing in your Pendulum zone. Whenever your monster is targeted for attack, you target a banished Metaphys monster, you summon that monster, and then you banish this card. And of course, like all Metaphys monsters, it gets an effect when it's banished, so during the next turn after it's banished, you summon it to your board, and then when your opponent attacks it, you get to then special summon another monster. So it's a whole little thing where it gets a little chain going. It's really good protection that Metaphys kind of needs, right? They also got a new trap card a few months back as well when that same box came out that says discard a Metaphys card, draw a card, and then you get to banish a Metaphys monster from your deck. So you get to sort of filter through your deck a little bit, get the cards you need. But when you combine it with Dimensional Fissure, you're going to banish the card that you discarded from your hand, so you're going to get the effect off of the monster that you're discarding as well. So you're going to get that added bonus in there. So Dimensional Fissure gives a huge boost to that card. Also, of course, in the last few months, the Galaxy Eyes engine has advanced, where we have the Cypher Blade Dragon and the full Armor Photon Dragon. So anytime you get 2 level 8 monsters on the board, you can then XYZ summon into a 3,200 attack point monster while blowing up 2 cards on the field. That's always really strong too, and of course this deck can do that pretty easily. So our skill is Grit, allows us to stay alive and prevent our opponent from being able to OTK us too easily. We have 2 Metaphys Daedalus, 2 Metaphys Nephthys, 2 Metaphys Tyrant Dragon, 2 Aloof Lupine, 2 Metaphys Decoy Dragon, 3 Dimensional Fissure, 3 Metaphys, 1 Metaphys Factor, 1 Metaphys Dimension, 2 Metaphys Ascension, and then in our extra deck we have the Trishula, Dragon of Icy Imprisonment, Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon, Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon, Heretic Sun Dragon, Galaxy Eyes Cypher Blade Dragon, Daigusto Emerald, and 1 number 45 Crumble Logos, the Prophet of Demolition. And last but not least, we have an Amazonas deck. Now, in the last few weeks, we've seen a few different decks that are able to utilize Reinforcement of the Army that's given a little bit of a boost to them. It hasn't turned these decks into like major metagame decks, right? They're not like breaking the metagame, things like Amazonas or Six Samurai or Noble Knights, but Reinforcement of the Army has just given a small little boost to these decks, and it's fun to revisit some of these older strategies that are getting a little bit of help in the form of Reinforcement of the Army. And this week I want to talk about Amazonas because Dark Energy managed to go on both a spicy win streak and then later on get top 32 in the battle phase with this deck. So I wanted to mention it because also it's probably my brother's favorite deck in the game as well, so I want to talk about it. It's still primarily a back row heavy deck, right? You're running, 10 spell and trap to act like back row plus DD Crow, so more than half your deck is meant to interrupt your opponent in some kind of way. Amazonas Onslaught, of course, is off the ban list now at this point. It's been a little while since it happened, but something people kind of forget about sometimes, that Onslaught is an extraordinarily powerful card, right? Anything your monster's battle gets banished automatically, and if you can get Queen on the board, none of your monsters get destroyed by battle, and then because of your skill, you don't take any battle damage on your turn, so you can just freely ram into your opponent's monsters, banish them all, and sometimes your opponent just can't do anything about about it. And even if you pop the Onslaught, you have multiple of them that you can search for very easily. It's just very difficult for certain decks to be able to deal with Onslaught. It's really fun to play with. I love Amazon, so I just want to go into it real fast. But Holy Guard is our skill. We have 3 Amazoness Princess, 1 DD Crow, 1 Amazoness Queen, 1 Amazoness Sage, 1 Amazoness Tiger, 1 Amazoness Baby Tiger, 1 Amazoness Spy, 1 Reinforcement of the Army, 2 Book of Moon, 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device, 2 Paleozoic Canadia, 2 Floodgate Trap Hole, 3 Amazoness Onslaught. Then in our extra deck we have the 1 of Dark Rebellion, XYZ Dragon, 1 number 47 Nightmare Shark, 1 Leviair, 1 Malevolent Sin, 1 Phantom Knights of Breaksword, 1 Ghost Trick Alucard, and 1 Wind Up Zen Mains, rounding out this deck and finishing up this edition of Spicy Decks of the Week. So if you guys like, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the day.